Greetings and salutations, my friends. Welcome to another Premier League team guide. Today we are looking at Leicestershire City. Leicester to normal people. So in these guides, if you've seen any of the other ones, we're going to look from the sort of basic club. We're going to look at the squad, see which areas need to strengthen, basic look at tactics, finances, how much we got to spend, if we need to improve the staff, and all that good stuff. So let's just start going through. So first off, we're going to start with the finances, see how much money we got to spend. 24 million, respectable. We got 41 million in the bank. Do we have much detage? Not very much at all, which is nice to see. A Premier League team with no debt. Oh, revelation. Wages-wise, about 80 grand to spend. So there's enough room for a couple of players or one really sort of top player without any sales, which is quite nice. Now, what do the board expect us to... Don't say win the league. What do they expect us to do this season? Mid-table, I think that's about right. I think that's realistic. FA Cup, they expect 5th round. League Cup, they expect 4th round. So, okay. We'll see. We'll have a look at the team and see if all that is doable. But we'll have a quick look at the staff. Yeah, okay, so the coaching setup is pretty bad, to be honest. It's below average pretty much everywhere apart from fitness. The other two are okay. I think we've got 19 recruitment staff, so I imagine a few of those are pretty rubbish for this not to be that amazing. So you might need to look through. Definitely look to redo the coaching setup. I started my manager at the lowest coaching badges just so it didn't interfere with this here. The medicals team looks all right, which is pretty good. Nice to see. Let's have a quick look at the team report. Lots of green, good. So, the weaknesses. Lacked quality depth at left back. No decision making. Not very strong. First touch is shit. Can't pass. And coaching shit. Great! Good stuff then. Just a little bit of work to do. But we've got some good stuff here as well. A quick look at the dynamics just to see what sort of groups we've got going on. This is very important in this year's FM. We really have to juggle these and keep players happy. So we've got 3 team leaders here, Wes Morgan, Kasper Schmeichel and Andy King, and a big group of highly influential players. Does anybody... Okay, so... Okay, they all... Let's not look at that. They all oppose me. I did set myself up as a nothing manager, so they're probably thinking, who the fuck is this dude? Social group-wise... This is a bit different to normal. Normally you see the core social group is like twice that size and you'll have little offshoots. But there seems to be 3 distinct little groups here, which for our purposes is actually quite good. Because if you piss off Wes Morgan, for instance, let's say you decided to sell Wes Morgan, you're going to annoy less people. Because it's usually his little buddies that are going to be more annoyed that you've upset a player. So actually, to have this fractured setup is not too bad at all. So let's have a quick look at the squad. We're not going to go through in a massive amount of detail. It's just to kind of see which areas might be lacking and sort of see which formations we might want to use. So we start off with goalkeepers. Kasper Schmeichel's a really good goalkeeper. He's only 30. He's got another 5-6 years of top-level football in him. We've got this guy, Jakupovic, as our backup, who's a very... decent enough backup. He's only on 23 grand. He's only just joined, so you can't sell him anyway, so we'll keep him. So right back options, what we got? One magic. We've got Danny Simpson, who's decent. We've got, not Robert Huth. How's Johan? He's more of a centre-back, isn't he? He could fill in as a sort of defensive fullback, but not really, especially if you're going to think of playing wing-back. So that's it. That's all she wrote, folks. Danny Simpson is our right-back. Might be a issue there. So at left back we've got Christian Fuchs, who's a decent player. We've also got Ben Chilwell, who's a very hot prospect, English, 20 years old, 4.5-star potential, can play centre back as well, but for me he's a really decent all-round full-back option, so that's nice. Got some good young talent in the squad. So left back we're fine. Ironically they said it was a left back issue. I think it's more of a right back issue we've got in the squad. That's why the team report is nice, but drill down into the actual team because there's often stuff there. So centre-back options, looks like we've got lots. We've got Robert Huth, we've got Wes Morgan. I think they both lack a little bit of pace, don't they? 9 acceleration, 9 pace. Hello? There we go. Wes Morgan, same. 8 acceleration, 9 pace. We've got this Johan dude, a little bit more pacey. He's okay. He's not going to be a first choice. He could do a job if needed. We've got Dragovic on loan, who's also okay. We've got Harry Maguire, who's a very good centre-back option. Their new guy, they got him from Hull, didn't they? Yeah, 13 million from Hull. he's probably going to be one of your first choice. Again, not the paciest, 10 acceleration. I'm not too bothered about pace in my centre-backs. I feel like acceleration is a more important thing because they're not really bombing along, unless it's balls over the top. But ideally, you'd want Usain Bolt as a centre-back. But acceleration for me is really key. But overall, and then you've got Ben Chilwell that can fill in, and Didi who can fill in, but he's a very good ball-winning midfielder, so I probably wouldn't want to use him unless I had to. And then this guy, also a ball-winning midfielder. But I think defensively, not too bad. Age-wise, though, there's a slight issue. 30, 32, 30, 32, 33, 30. That is a chunk of old defenders and goalkeepers there. Anyone else in the sort of defensive departments? Not really. So, in central midfield, we've got Andy King, who's just in his prime at the moment. Decent, versatile player. We've got Vicente Iborra, who's a very good... I like it, Anchorman. Nice to see. Who I actually really rate. He actually looks pretty decent, which is good. But again, 29. There's going to be a big rebuild of this team in a few years, which I quite enjoy that sort of thing. Mark Albrighton, don't really rate him in real life. He's he's pretty versatile, can play on both wings. Or if you're playing a really attacking fullback, bearing in mind his marking's only 8. If you're maybe attacking wingbacks or something like that, if that suits you. We've got Matty James, who's just a meh squad player. We've got Adrian Silva, who's a 28-year-old in his prime, central box-to-box midfielder. Looks actually very decent. Valued at 46 million. Bargain. What a little pickup that was. So he's one of the best players at the club. We've got Ahmed Musa, who is primarily a striker. I thought was primarily... Ooh, okay. Not very good, so we'll move on. Let's pretend we didn't see him. Damari Gray, very big prospect. Lots of talk about it. Just signed a new contract at Leicester. Looks very good. Can play on both sides as a winger and inside forward. We got Riyad Mahrez, one of your star players at the club. We got one of my favourite players in the Premiership, just because he looks so happy to be playing football, and that's Okazaki. Still very good, very versatile, can play anywhere up top. And I think, he might not be. He's 31 as well, so he's not going to be like a superstar. But I think still a good player for the club. We got Slimani, who's 29, another oldie, who's more of a target man option. And then we've got Iheanacho, their new signing. Brilliant in Football Manager. In FM17, he was brilliant because you could pick him up relatively cheap. And how much did 25? I think you could sort of pick him up for that much. And he becomes a superb player. He's already a very good player. So up top, striker-wise, Vardy and Iheanacho, if you're playing two up top, would be perfectly fine by me. And then you've got Slimani for a different option. You've got Okazaki for a tricky little player that runs around a lot like a crazy person. And then you've got Musa, who I'm going to sell. He's very pacey. It very much depends on how you play, but his technicals are awful. He's valued a decent chunk of money. I'd probably look to sell him. And use that to reinforce the squad. We'll have a quick look at the reserves and under 23s, just in case there's any little gems. Make sure you look through this in detail, because these are scout reports, doesn't necessarily mean they're right. We'll just look at Harvey Barnes, our key player in this under 23s. He's on loan at the moment, but he's a winger in the making, only 19, on loan at Barnsley. Could become a decent player. Determination's only 10, needs some tutoring. If you're going to bring him back, get him some tutoring. But make sure you check out some of these others. There might be some other little gems here. Now let's have a look at the under-18s. It's not the best area of the team, but we do have Sim Tandy, who is all right, 17 years old. Could become actually a decent player. Right back or centre back. Yeah, I'm looking at... he needs some work. Either way... Pick straight away if you're going to make him a fullback or you're going to make him a centre-back, and then work on those aspects of his game, because he's only 17, he's mouldable, but you need to pick. You don't want him to sort of float around, not sure what he's supposed to be doing. So, we got 24 million, right? I reckon, what's his face? Who do you flip? Why does that always swap? Go back to what I told it to. If we can sell Musa, let's just say 10 million quid, right? Let's say nobody wants him and we have to reduce the price, 10 million quid. We're looking at 34, 35 million quid for the players. We definitely need a right back. I think Danny Simpson's okay. To be honest, I'd prefer to have this guy as a backup option, so I might go quite big on getting a first choice right back and have Danny Simpson as the backup option. Depending on how you want to play, you might need to be looking at getting another centre-back with a bit more pace if you want a higher line or, playing the offside trap or whatever it is you want to be doing. We've got Harry Maguire, and Wes Morgan and Huth are all right, but lack a little bit of pace. On the wings, we have some decent players. Central midfield I'm quite happy about. On the wings, we've got, obviously Riyad Mahrez is the big one. Let's have a quick look at tactics and see what the... my arse man, or is he going to suggest 4-4-2, like revolutionary? Let's just make sure, because sometimes this weirdly changes like that. Yeah, okay. So he's going with the 4-4-2. The trouble with this, I like 4-4-2 in FM18 so far. I'm finding it actually quite useful. But where does Mahrez play in this formation? Mahrez has got to be further forward, surely. Like, he can play there, but... an inverted winger as your right midfielder? I'm not sure. I want to be playing him here as an inside forward. So I'm probably... It's a tough one, this, because I want to get both Iheanacho and Vardy in the team, but I want to be playing him. So we could... I'm just, this is very basic. Obviously, I'm just messing about with it more than anything. I wonder if we could do something like this. Because we're not massive. The only problem with this, again, and we could play Riyad Mahrez behind the strikers, which I think would be lovely. The only problem that we're really losing out on is one other good player, like Michael Brighton. That's all right, doesn't matter if he doesn't get a game. But Damari Gray could be the sort of slight issue there if you want to get him into your team. He can play there. I think, actually he's all right. So I'd retrain him as to be as sort of Mahrez's backup, really. Probably if you can get him some tutoring. I'm not sure if you can at the moment. So I might be looking to do something like that because it stops... We're a little bit weak in the wing area, apart from Mahrez, but we can move him inside to support the two strikers. And then this adds extra importance to getting good fullbacks because they're going to have to provide the width or something like that. So I'm definitely going to be spending pretty big on a right back. Christian Fuchs is great because he's a very attacking fullback anyway. Lovely amount of crossing, decent. Lacking a little bit of pace, which is an issue, and he is 31. So it might be something I'd probably be fine this year, but maybe next year look at replacing as well. Maybe Ben Chilwell will make the step up by then, so that won't be so much of an issue. But yeah, right back, and then if I've got any money left over, we've got our two attacking mids. Might go for just a bit more strength in that central midfield, or I might start to look at replacing some of these older guys now. I might get another centre-back and maybe sell Robert Huth or something like that. If not, keep those guys. Right, there we go for our little sort of mini guide. What I always ask is, if you're a fan of Leicester or you've managed them in the game so far, put it in the comments how you got on, what formation you used, what worked, who you sold, who's worth keeping an eye on, etc., etc. Good purchases for the club. Any good tactics you've discovered. It'll be really helpful to everyone watching this video if there's, extra stuff in the comments. So, there we go. Thank you very much for watching this, guys. Please leave a like if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you're new. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.